Hello, my name is Michaela Garcia. I'm currently a student here at Lone Star College. I'm in my second speech semester, and today I'm going to be demonstrating to you the basics on ukuleles. And my main points are going to be tuning your ukulele, your finger placement on your ukulele, and then the most basic chords for whenever you begin to play your ukulele that you'll use most often. So when it comes to tuning your ukulele, it's very important to remember that there's only 4 different strings on your ukulele, and these knobs here control those. This is important because unlike a guitar or other string instruments, the ukulele only has 6. There is another type of instrument called the bass guitar, which many articles go into depth on the difference between a bass guitar and a regular guitar, and the difference between a bass guitar and ukulele, since they are similar that they only have 4. But anywho, whenever you are tuning your ukulele, these are the knobs that are controlling these strings. So I personally like to start with this knob because this knob controls this first string, and it's easier for me to remember to go from here to here. So whenever you're tuning your ukulele, you can use any sort of a guitar tuner or a ukulele tuner, or they even have apps on your phone that you can download to tune your ukulele. All you need to do is turn the knobs either forward or backwards. As you can see, they twist this way and then this way. And then you can do so that it will start to sound better. Depending on the type of tuner that you're using, it'll either get into like a green zone on the app, or the light will turn green on a tuner, or some of them even have a beeping feature where when it gets to the right spot, then it'll beep at you. Whichever kind you're using, it's important just to make sure that once it gets to the note that it's supposed to, then you stop turning it. And then once you do your first string, you do the same exact thing on your next one, and you just go across the board through each of the strings. Now, when it comes to your finger placement, this is where a lot of people will go wrong because there's a lot of really easy ways that the ukulele can be tricky when it comes to finger placement. One of the biggest things that you can keep in mind is that your fingers, when they're on your ukulele, need to be going straight up and down. You don't want them flat like this. You want them straight up and down. Right now my fingers are on a G chord, but listen to the difference for when I have it straight up and down versus when I have them flat. That's up and down, and then it makes a huge difference because your fingers, when you don't have them straight up and down and they're kind of like this, they're laying against all the other strings, and then it makes a really weird sound that doesn't sound that pleasant at all. Another really important thing to keep in mind whenever you're thinking of your finger placement is where in between each of these gaps your fingers are. When you're playing something, you want your fingers to be as close to the metal part as they can be. You don't want them to be way up here. You don't want them to be like off to the side. You want it down here as close to the bar as it can be without actually going over it. The reason for this is because the closer you are to that bar, the tighter it's pressing the string onto the bar, which is important for sound quality, because if it's up high, way above it, then it causes a lot of vibration within the music, and it's just not as crisp and it doesn't sound great at all. Another really important thing is to make sure that when you have your fingers placed, that you are pressing straight down. You're not pulling to the side, or you're pushing this way, like down the strings, or even pushing them forward. You want to make sure that you put your fingers and the pressure going directly down onto your ukulele and not pulling or pushing them in any weird direction, because that's going to also affect the quality of the music that you're making. Next, I want to teach y'all the most basic chords that you could be using with your ukulele. My first one that I want to show is actually the easiest one that I think you could possibly learn, and it's a C chord. All you need is your ring finger to go on this 3rd fret here, press down on the string, and that's a C chord, which is great. It's super easy, and it's usually the intro to a lot of songs. You'll use it all the time whenever you're playing your ukulele. The next most important one is a G chord. This is the one that I was demonstrating earlier when I was talking about finger placement. So you'll have this finger on the 2nd fret, last string, and then your index finger on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. And then your ring finger, will go 3rd fret, 3rd string. And that's a G. And now if you wanted to do something else, which is also a really popular one and very common in a lot of different ukulele songs, it's an F. So you'll put your middle finger, first string, second fret, and then your pointer finger, the third string, and then the first fret. And that's an F. And now, those are probably the three most common ones, but I also wanted to get into some other ones that aren't as popular, but are pretty simple and they're really fun to do. So this one is very easy actually when you think about how your fingers are. It's just hard to make the sound come out right. So this is a D chord, and what you're gonna do is take your index finger on the first string, second fret, middle finger, second string, second fret, and then ring finger on the third string, second fret. And that's a D. Another way you can do a D is by taking your index finger and laying it flat across the first three, but not the last three, which is one way to do it, but if you're anything like me, it's a little bit harder for you to do because you're having to think a little bit more about not letting your finger rest on that last string, which is why I prefer the other method. And lastly, I want to show you my favorite, which is an E minor. So in E minor, you're going to have your index finger on the last string, second fret, your middle finger on the third fret, and then the third string, and then your ring finger on the fourth fret, second string. And that's an E minor chord, and it sounds like that. And then of course you can put these together and make a combination of songs, but one of the easiest ones and probably most recognizable is Riptide. This is something that a lot of people will learn as their first ukulele song, and I would like to finish my speech with it. All right, well thank you. I hope you learned something from this, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.